Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is that you are, wherever you may be. Thank you very much for making us a part of your day. I am Brad Franklin, creative content writer here in Chesterfield, and I'm really glad to be able to tell you that Chesterfield Behind the Mic is on the air once again. We have a really cool show for you today. The holiday season is rapidly approaching, and I know for a lot of people, the opportunity to do something positive for their community is a big part of the way that they sort of look at the holidays. And so we're going to talk about two awesome opportunities for you to get involved and to do something this holiday season. First, I want to introduce Dawn McCoy, who is the executive director of CCHASM, which is an organization that I'm rapidly learning does a lot of good in this community. And as someone who's new here, Dawn, I first want to welcome you to the show. And hey, how are you doing? What's the latest? I hear you got a promotion recently.
Yes, I did, Brad. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you having us on the show to share about CCHASM. Yes, I've been with CCHASM for several years and was recently promoted to CEO Executive Director after my prior capacity being Director of Communications.
Yeah. Now CCHASM is the Chesterfield Colonial Heights Alliance for Social Ministry. And one of the things is we were talking about what your organization does. Obviously, Thanksgiving meals this time of year is obviously critical for a lot of different reasons, not only for those in need, but also for those who want to do something. And it allows folks who want to get involved that sort of vehicle to do that. In terms of CCHASM, where did that organization sort of come from? And talk to me a little bit about sort of the background of your organization and how it kind of came to be.
Absolutely. CCHASM has been around since 1988, and it started as an alliance of congregations, area churches, deciding that they wanted to work in collaboration with local agencies and partners to launch an effort to meet the unmet need, financial needs, intermittent and or sustained for those in our community in most need. Specifically, what we had done at that time was to create this forum for financial assistance, food assistance, and the women's career clothing cottage that came on more recently.
Okay. So in terms of the Thanksgiving meals portion of what you guys do, would you say that that's where does it rank sort of in the pantheon of like the bigger items for you guys over the course of a year? Is it the biggest? Because I think in 2020, if my information is right, it was 3,000 families that you guys helped across, multiple localities, whether it was Chesterfield, Colonial Heights, Dinwiddie, Hopewell, Pittsburgh, and Prince George, I think.
Yes.
Where does that rank in is this something you guys get geared up for and it's a big part of your year, or are there just a whole lot of these sorts of things that you guys do throughout the calendar year?
Absolutely. The Thanksgiving meal program, or our meal basket, is our signature event. We provide every November a meal basket, if you will, that contains not only the package of goods, but obviously a meal gift card for people to purchase a turkey and other Thanksgiving meal items. It is an event we gear up for, all year round. And what we do is work with our area partners, our churches, and all come together to converge at the Chesterfield County Fairgrounds to provide this wonderful meal giveaway.
Right. Now, in terms of the things that people can donate, let's talk about the donation aspect of it. What kinds of items are you looking for people to sort of come through and donate in this time?
Absolutely. Specifically, we're looking for canned goods and boxed goods of the Thanksgiving items that are on our list, that are on our website. We're specific because we don't want to have jars and things that are going to break necessarily.
Right.
We want to have canned goods that people can have maybe some good shelf time, and obviously something that is of a Thanksgiving nature. We do have people who bring additional things. Maybe they want to toss in an extra bag of cookies or some other thing. So we actually gather that after the fact, good enough, and actually donate that to some of our food pantries.
Yeah. Now, I think for a lot of us who think of Thanksgiving, we have a very specific mental image, and depending on what, your family and what they may have made every Thanksgiving. But for a lot of folks, maybe that's just not sort of the way it is. And your organization obviously does a lot of work to help those who maybe, don't have that sort of traditional sort of thing, to have something that, is more traditional, that kind of has that sort of vibe. When you look at sort of the work that you guys do in making these meals possible, what's been the response from people who have been involved, whether those are volunteers helping to put these together, folks who are donating, folks who are sending, money and pledging, that kind of thing? What's been your response that you've heard from the community over the years?
Over the years, it's been overwhelming. We have people who start as soon as probably July and August who are preparing their meal baskets. Sometimes they create challenges for their offices or their teams. Congregations are coming together, neighborhoods and families. So they're gathering the items together to create those meal baskets, and then the drop-off process is remarkable because people are coming with bags to donate and give, gift cards. It may be small or large in quantity, but we receive all of it because people have taken to heart. Our partners who are working as well, businesses, local and otherwise, have graciously donated, for example, paper bags.
Right.
We often need a double bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so those are donated items. So we appreciate that people are preparing pretty much year-round.
And then there's also a fair number of volunteers you need for something like this, right? You know, you're not. It's not just like, you know, you don't get to 3,000 families with like 4 people, right? You need an army. You know, you need a group. You know, you need a village basically, right, to be able to do that. In terms of the number of volunteers, has that number just grown over the years? Have you kind of kept it similar? And what's your sort of ballpark on what you're hoping for this year?
Absolutely. It has grown over the years. We have consistent volunteers, both from congregations and from community groups, public agencies and others who volunteer every year. They come out in good stead. They are just committed to the effort. We rely on them to come out. And in more recent years, obviously with transition, we have an online process for people to go online and register.
Right.
But we welcome people to walk in. We welcome them to bring friends and neighbors. Right. We just ask that people are bringing their hearts and minds, knowing that they're there to sort goods. They're there to check labels to make sure that those are viable. And more importantly, just to have a lot of fun and doing heart work. Yeah. And so they do come out in groups, and our numbers have grown, I would say markedly in the last few years, because people want to give back.
Yeah, for sure. Now, speaking of, you know, years, right? Last year was obviously a very different sort of experience, I would imagine, for an organization like yours, doing the work that you do, for any community in basically any walk of life, right? In any way, shape, or form, 2020 was very different. How did the pandemic really impact what you guys did last year, and how did that inform sort of what you'll do, you know, for this Thanksgiving?
Absolutely. The work was much needed because of the pandemic and because of the ongoing social distancing and challenges that we had. We needed to go to a drive-through format, where in prior years we've had people do a walkthrough. Right. And so really needing to be thinking carefully about how we not only had exponentially adding our volunteers, creating a 3-lane system for people to come drive through with contactless meal bags, put it to cars, and making sure that we're being very thoughtful about engaging volunteers in a safe way, and making sure that we're still maintaining our program. We have had higher need and inquiries, and that has been an uptick throughout the year for our food pantry assistance and also for our financial assistance programs, specifically twofold. The financial assistance program being that it is a year-round program, people can apply based on need, gone through an analysis, and then our COVID-19 financial assistance for crisis situations. So it has been a significant uptick.
And then in terms of this year, would you say that it's more back to normal, kind of a hybrid between, you know, maybe what it was like in 2018, 2019 versus 2020? What's the sort of the balance between those elements this year going into this season?
Yeah, we're still maintaining all hands on deck because we know that the crisis is not over.
Correct.
One,
yes, ma'am.
Prior to COVID-19 pandemic and then post. We know that people are still having significant hardships. Our goal is to meet that unmet need, and we are trying to make sure, obviously, with the food pantries, the assistance that's ongoing, that's a need that people have. And then also for our Women's Career Clothing Cottage, that's a reentry opportunity for people who may have been out of work, need to go back, need career clothing. We provide that for women in our community to shop, if you will, for the area residents to come in. So be a resource.
Well, let's recap just to make sure folks know what they can do. So there's a donate, there's a pledge, there's a volunteer, and then there's obviously for those who might need to register to receive a meal. Let's talk about the donation. What's your time frame? Like when should people think about actually submitting their donations? Where do they take them? And talk to me a little bit about sort of the logistics of that portion.
Absolutely. So on our website, there is a place where people can donate in one particular way. That's the CCHASM.org/meal donate. And they can go on and make a financial donation. The other way is that people can go onto our website at CCHASM.org and make a pledge. Okay. And so in making a pledge, they're committing to bringing in 10 bags, 15 gift cards, 2 bags, whatever it might be, we receive that. And so they're committing to that time frame between November 11th and 20th.
Okay.
Pardon me, November 11th and 19th.
Okay.
To bring in their meal bags, and then we are going to be distributing the meal bags on November the 20th.
Okay.
So people can get involved in that particular way to donate, to make sure that people are volunteering. We welcome that, specifically for people to come in and help out. We do have an online registration process on our website at CCHASM.org/volunteer 2021.
Okay.
And we want to encourage people to think about volunteering. Why? Because it's a great way to be out there in the community, socially distanced and mask required.
Okay.
But we're asking people also, if they can't do that, to do it virtually, to pack a meal bag at home.
Right.
And then they can tag us on social.
Oh, that's fun.
At CHASM on Facebook and on Twitter.
Awesome. And now also, too, one other piece was those who might want to register. How if there are those who maybe have seen this and who are in need, how would they get in touch with you? What's the best way to do that?
Absolutely. We have a phone line specifically where people can call and register and have someone do the online registration for them over the phone. Okay. We also have the website where people can go to the CCHASM.org website and register for their. You need to provide name, address, and then the number of people in their family will be able to have a meal ready for them at the fairgrounds.
Awesome. Well, Dawn, I really appreciate your time. Appreciate you being willing to come on the podcast. And month in, I know for a new role, you're doing obviously a really great job. And I know you have a busy month ahead. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Brad. Take care.
We are joined now by Phyllis Potes, who is the 2021 Chesterfield Colonial Heights Christmas Mother. Phyllis, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm just fine. Thank you for having me, Brad.
I'm really excited to talk to you because, one, the Christmas Mother has always been. I'm from a small town, and we didn't have one of these, right? And so there's this thing that's every year, and it changes, and there's a lot that obviously the Christmas Mother does, and I love. It's one of those things about Christmas that I love. That it's like these really unique ways that like the community sort of comes together. And I think the Christmas Mother is a great example of that. We were just talking with Dawn McCoy, whose CHASM helps with Thanksgiving meals, and you guys do a whole lot of similar things, but specifically for Christmas. Talk to me a little bit about the Christmas Mother. I think it's been around since what? I want to say it was like 1972, somewhere in that ballpark.
Well, it's been the committee since 1972.
Committee since 72. Okay.
It started in 1945 with Lucy Core.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Miss Core was the head of social services for the county, and she realized a lot of her clients didn't have Christmas.
Wow.
So she started collecting toys to take to them, and the police chief helped her, and they used to go on Christmas Eve and deliver toys.
Yeah, interesting.
So as it grew, as the county grew, she solicited friends and
there you go.
employees.
There you go.
She was the director, and it just grew. Eventually, it got bigger.
Yeah, as these things are wont to do, right?
And social services had enough on their hands with the rest of what they did,
right.
So the committee took over.
Okay.
And in 1996, we were incorporated as the Chesterfield Colonial Heights Christmas Mother Committee. And that was the Christmas Mother part we stole from the Salvation Army's program. So because they do the same thing, just they do it for a wider audience than we do. We only service Chesterfield County and the city of Colonial Heights.
Right.
There are a number of other independent volunteer groups like ours and other locales around here. So, but that's how we got started. Miss Core saw a need, and she went out and filled it.
I think it's interesting the way that over time, groups grow and change, right? And the idea that that when it first started, right, they're going around on Christmas Eve, and now you have a whole operation, they bring the goods, and you got people sorting them and getting them all straight. I'm curious, though, how you got involved. When did you start? You said we. I'm not sure if you meant the royal we or if you meant, I'm not sure if you've been involved with it for that long, but what's your background with Christmas Mother?
Well, I started as someone who collected toys for a family, sponsoring, when I went to work for Philip Morris.
Okay.
I worked in the Information Service Department. Each directorate took a family.
Oh, that's great.
From the Chesterfield Colonial Heights Christmas Mother, and we took that family and bought their gifts for Christmas and were sponsors. As time progressed and the fact that the city had annexed Philip Morris, they came in and asked Philip Morris to go to their Weed and Seed program. And being Chesterfieldian, I said, okay, I can help with that. But I started sponsoring a family on my own.
That's great.
Mind you, it was a small family because it was just me.
Right.
And when I retired, or officially just left work in 2009 under
just left but it never didn't come back
under an early departure program.
Yeah.
I called that fall when I got my letter about sponsoring a family. I called the office number, and lo and behold, there was another Philip Morris retiree. And she said, "Oh, come to the next meeting. You can join the committee."
That's great.
And that was that. So that was October 2009, and I've been with the committee ever since.
In terms of the activity, you know, the involvement that you've had over the years, has it grown and changed just in the time that you've been involved with it? How different is it now versus when it was when you first got started?
There's some changes.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything. Food changed was the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
We used to collect donations of food
mm-hmm.
and fix together a non-perishables
Right.
box for each family,
Right.
and then gave them a gift card to buy their perishables.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just give them a gift card because the diversity of our clients
Mm-hmm.
is so much that not everybody eats turkey for Christmas.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And the children, not every family can have peanut butter.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So that changed just in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
We quit doing that and changed it to where we just give them a gift card
Mm-hmm.
so that they can buy enough food.
Yeah. Now, in terms of becoming the Christmas mother, is it like the Pope, where there's a building somewhere and there's like the chimney and the white smoke, or like how does one become the Christmas mother? Do they call the committee says, "Hey, Phyllis, you want to be the Christmas mother"?
First, if you want to be the Christmas mother, you need to come and be part of the committee.
Yeah, that's a good first step, right?
First step. And we could have a Christmas father.
Yeah.
We only have 2 male members at the moment of the committee. We would love to have more.
Yeah.
We'd love a lot of other diversity in our group. But the first thing is to be a member of the committee, and
Right.
then the rest of the committee votes on it.
Mm-hmm.
We have, same time that we do officers,
Mm-hmm.
the nominating committee for that finds the nominee for the Christmas mother,
Mhm.
and then the whole committee votes on it at our March meeting.
So is this one of those things where when you were chosen or you were asked to be it, was it a surprise? Was it a shock, or was it something that you were really hopeful for, excited, maybe even expecting? Like what was your feeling?
It was on my bucket list.
Okay, there you go. That's fun. I like it.
So, I've been a member for 10 years, 11 years. And last year, in 2020, the nominating committee came to me and asked me if I would accept the thing, because they always ask before they announce it at the
Makes
meeting.
sense, right?
So I was thrilled.
Yeah, that's great.
Being able to represent such an amazing group of people.
Yeah.
And our community in general, because it takes the entire community
Absolutely.
to do what we do.
Absolutely.
We can't do it with just the 60, 70 people
Right.
that we have there.
Right.
I heard you make comments about CHASM, and
Yeah.
it can't be the 4 people.
No, it can't.
40 people is not enough.
So if you're out there and you're listening, they need more help, is what she's saying. They need as much help as they can get.
Volunteers are always appreciated.
Yeah.
Last year was really strange for us because we weren't allowed
Yeah.
to have but 10 people in the building at a
Oh,
time.
wow.
So we did a lot of prep work.
I bet.
But yeah, it was a thrill when I got asked in 2020, when they notified me that they decided that I wasn't getting the full
Experience?
experience.
Yeah.
And would I mind doing it again for 2021?
Okay.
I thought, whoa, now I'm really an elite group.
I was going to say, how many Christmas mothers got to do it 2 Christmases in a row?
Only one other.
Yeah, I was going to say,
and
that's
that was
interesting.
Lucy Core.
That's awesome.
And only one more has had it for 2 years, and that's Donna Link, who's been on the committee since its inception in 1972.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes, she's been our treasurer for as long as I've been.
That's great. That's
been
great.
on the committee. So
That's great. So in terms of, let's talk about what people can do, right? So if somebody's out there right now who is really interested and wants to get involved, what's the best way for them to help out? How do they need to just go to the website? Take me through how folks are able to get involved.
Okay, there's so many options. If you want to get really involved, join us for a meeting. Notify us if you can't make our meetings, because we only have a few meetings a year, and they are in the morning. So some of our younger members who actually work, they'll come in through Zoom now.
Oh, okay.
But you don't actually have to physically come to a meeting to be a member and to be active.
Okay.
The membership and the subcommittees within it, We do have people who go shopping. We have
Okay.
people who do the publicity.
Okay.
We have people that do this, that, and the other, or run different fundraisers. We've had the July Jingle Run, which changed to the July Jingle Raffle because of COVID.
Right.
And we have had an annual auction, which we haven't had for the last 2 years because of COVID.
Yeah.
And but we have other events and things that you can be a part of. There are different things, helping with the finance, the fundraising, the grant writing. Then, if you just want to help during the holiday seasons and things of that, in that aspect, we use volunteers when we're taking applications in September.
Okay.
That's mostly days, but one evening, and for 1 weekend, we take applications, and so we have to have somebody help these people go through their applications and whatever. We need bilingual people.
Okay.
Some amazing, because we have an amazing number of bilingual clients.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it would help. The other things that are there, of course, there's always money to be donated. People ask me when you can donate. I said you can donate year round. We take things from day one.
Great.
The other things you can do is donate toys, books, clothing. We only accept new for the initial. However, we do accept used coats.
Okay.
As long as they've been cleaned, that we put out for in a normal year, put out for our clients.
Right.
And we take gently used books in a normal year for the older clients.
Yeah.
Donations of items. If you don't know what to donate, we do have a website where you can contact us and ask questions. We have an office that you can call and leave a message. I can't say that someone will answer it because we don't have a full-time office staff.
Yeah, right.
We are completely volunteer.
Okay.
But if you email us and their email links on our website, someone will get back to you.
Great. Do you have a specific time frame of when you accept the donations to when you stop, or is it basically?
We take them year round.
Okay.
When they get used. If you give it to us after mid-December, it'll be used for the following year.
Right. Yeah, that's great.
But we accept donations year round. We have storage facilities for storing them. Then a lot of us store things. I have a large garage, so I have a lot of things.
A lot of things hanging out the house, huh?
So, I have space that things get stored in. But there's cash, there's that. There's volunteers that we call shoppers.
Okay.
In the way that the program works in a given year, in a normal year, about a third of the families are sponsored by an outside group, and that group takes that wish list for that family, goes out, purchases the items for the children, provides the food for the family's things, Christmas meal, and they bring that to us on a specific date. The next day, those families that came in one day, the next day, the families come and pick up those items. Okay. And that's called sponsoring. Okay. If you don't want to sponsor but you want to be involved, we also have shopping days. Right. And normally it won't be the same. We didn't have it last year. We won't have it exactly the same this year. But on those, the other 2/3 of the families would come up in, and we set up the exhibit building at the Chesterfield County Fairgrounds. I call it a mini Walmart because we had the toy department, the book department. I gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha. Clothing department. And years ago, we had the food department. Now when you come in and check in, you're giving your food gift cards, and then you go and you take your children. You pick for your children whatever from what has been bought during the year. Right. And I'll tell you, our shoppers are very good shoppers. Yeah. They get an amazing quality and quantity for the money that we have to spend.
That's great. That's great.
But the volunteers, each of those clients, when they come in, someone escorts them through the departments to help them with picking things, holding items. Right. Because we have a few shopping carts that are donated by Food Lion for us to use, but not enough for everybody to have one.
Yeah, definitely understand.
So that's where we have shoppers or what we use. This year, our shoppers will do a little different, but we are going to have some volunteers. The volunteer sign-up will probably go up sometime after the 1st of November. Okay. It will be through our website. It'll be a sign-up genius. Okay. And it'll specify exactly what the opening is for and which your duties would be.
Good deal. Now, I know you also have some other events beyond just the Christmas side, right? Like it's the Christmas Mother, but there's more coming, after Christmas. Talk to me a little bit about what you guys got going on beyond that.
Okay. Well, this one we have starting in November, and this is actually an event that goes on year round with Sedona Tap House. They do Monday night dine out for charity.
Okay.
Well, in November, Monday night dine out for charity is going to support the Chesterfield Colonial Heights Christmas Mother at the West Chester location.
Okay.
In June, the Colonial Heights, we were lucky to double dip this year. In June, the Colonial Heights of Sedona chose us as their charity.
Okay.
This for the West Chester's has chosen us for their charity in November.
Okay.
So if you go there and buy one of their dine out for charity specials and a beverage, then $1 of your meal goes to the Christmas Mother. And we've gotten close to around $2,000.
Oh, wow, that's great.
In a month.
That's great.
So it's a wonderful program, and that's one of the things that people can do. Spend your Monday, go out Mondays and eat at Sedona.
There you go. That's great.
The other thing is really something special for this year, because next year will be our 50th year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And so we're kicking it off right after Christmas this year with the Christmas Jar.
Okay.
The Christmas Jar was a book by an author who lives in Charlottesville, Virginia.
Okay.
And the author has agreed to come and do book signing for us.
Oh, that's fun. That's great.
It's going to be at the Perkinson Center, the new Perkinson Center in Chester.
Okay.
And they're going to come sign books, and there'll be a whole evening of events and things going on.
Okay.
Information about it's on our website.
Okay.
It's going to be on Tuesday evening, December 28th at 7 p.m.
Okay.
We are hunting for sponsors for this event.
Okay.
As well as buying tickets. The tickets are $25 for an adult, $10 for children. It is a family-oriented event.
Awesome.
It is not like our auction, which is adults only.
Okay.
This is family-oriented. There will be activities for the children to do, making their own Christmas jar or Christmas ornaments.
That sounds like fun.
So it should be an exciting evening, but it's to kick off a whole series of events that will follow through next year.
For the 50th?
For the 50th.
That's great. Well, it's a shame that you used your 2 years and you can't be back for the 50th, because I can imagine that would be a lot of fun, especially for somebody who's been as involved with it as you have been. How last thing for you, how rewarding has this been for you to be involved with this as long as you have, and then certainly to be the Christmas Mother again this year?
Oh, for me, it's the highlight.
Yeah.
My whole family gets involved with me.
That's great. That's great.
I've been on the auction committee for all the years I've been on the committee, and so it's fun to see all the people, and we have a lot of fun at that event.
I bet, yeah.
And it's just part of my lifestyle is giving.
Right.
I learned that there was joy in giving, and I'm a very joyous person.
I hear you. Well, I'm really glad that you were able to find such a wonderful opportunity to sort of channel that giving, and certainly happy for you to come and talk to us about it today, and to give the community even more information on how they can get involved this season. So Phyllis, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
I think that's a good place to close. Follow us on social media. On Twitter, it's Chesterfield VA, and on Instagram, it's Chesterfield Virginia, all one word. And on Facebook, you can check out our podcast page. Just search Chesterfield Behind the Mic. Make sure to like that page so you can keep up with us and see where we are. Now, let me give you all the ways that you can check us out. You can watch us on our YouTube channel as well as on our website at Chesterfield.gov/podcast. An audio-only version of the show is available there, as well as on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Overcast, or wherever it is that you get your shows. You can also watch the podcast on WCCT Thursday through Sunday. That's at 7 p.m. and on the weekends at noon, Comcast Channel 98, Verizon Channel 28. My thanks to everybody here at Communications Media who made this possible. And again, my thanks to Dawn and to Phyllis for being our guest today. For all of us here at Chesterfield County, thank you very much for making this part of your day. Take care. We'll see you again soon.